Hey, we're official here, Toby.
We're
I don't need
official
you
here?
laughing.
Well, I thought you wasn't clapping loud enough. I thought you wasn't clapping loud enough.
I wish your dad had those clap on, clap off lights on his shop. They'd throw you off.
That'd be like Showtime, though. Clap on, Showtime.
All right. Welcome to episode 9 of the Shift Points podcast. I'm Jake Freeman. This is
Jackson.
And that's
Wynn.
And who are you?
Toby Norton.
This is Toby Norton, our first guest. I was hoping for someone maybe just a little better, but we got Toby, so we'll deal with it for now. Toby, tell me about yourself. Who is Toby Norton, and why are you here?
Because I'm Eugene's son. That's about it.
That's
about it, yeah.
So everyone that's watched this at all has heard of Eugene, of course. He's the guy that me and Dad have been working and helping with for a few years now in the circle track stuff, but not just Eugene's son. We gotta be more than that.
Well, I'm not the car guy. I'm the motorcycle guy.
Okay. What about that?
Dude, that was awesome. I wish I was still not
tell
this
us what
fat.
that was.
Not
Like,
this fat.
not this
Not
fat.
this
Yeah,
fat.
you're
I'd still do it.
huge.
Dirt box.
So tell us what you used to do.
Dude,
Because you used to be one heck of a motorcycle rider.
Nothing but motorcycles. That was all Eugene had us on. He was racing cars before, shut down as soon as I was born, and was like, motorcycle.
Yeah.
Motorcycle.
Because he pretty much had you on one, like, as soon as you could stand up.
I got my first one at 3, and then I learned on the island how to ride it.
Yeah.
And then my first race, I was 4, and Brian Moore followed me around the track because I didn't know where I was. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know.
4.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know what was going on. And then until I was 17, and then finally me and Eugene butted little heads, and then I was like, well,
you guys are the same person.
yeah, we're just too hard-headed, too hard-headed for that. And then
now you're here.
now I'm here. I quit at about 17, and then he was like, we did woods racing.
I was like, what's woods racing?
Woods racing is just GNCC. You just start, and then you just head through the woods and get your check markers, and then come out.
So it's like a set trail.
Yeah,
like a loop or something.
You follow marks like on a tree. Like you'll be going to a tree and be like, red mark, follow that. Red mark, follow that. If you missed it, then you were just
Is it
in the woods. You were just in the
like
woods.
a time thing?
Yeah, it was.
It's kind of like rally, like a rally.
Yeah,
kind of like motorcycle rally racing.
Some of them you'd run like if it was a shorter track, you'd run like 3 or 4 laps according to like what it is, and then some of them be like 30 minutes, and then when the timer goes off and they scan you, they're like whoever the leader is, you got one more lap, and then that's the person that had to do it.
Oh, okay.
And then Eugene loved that because I mean, dude, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
And you put him on an actual track, he was so fast, but for 2 laps.
Okay.
Eugene raced motorcycles?
Yeah.
Eugene was a real,
dude,
like I said, him and Toby both were like awesome motorcycle racers.
That's wild.
Yeah, the day he hurt my feelings was the day he outran me. That was bad. We were at Muddy Creek, and I was like, dude, I can put out a faster lap time than you. It's easy. And he was like, really? And dude, he's 300 pounds almost. And I was like, yeah, I know I can. And he was like, well, I told him, I said, I'll beat you in the race. And he was like, no. He said, we're doing 1 lap. Whoever has the fastest lap. And I was like, okay, whatever. Beat me by 2 seconds.
2 seconds?
2 seconds. And
How big was the track?
Dude, it was Muddy Creek, so it was almost 2.5 miles. I mean, it was
2
huge.
seconds, but
it was
2 seconds
huge.
and 2.5 miles is a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
And
I was like, because we started the race together.
Yeah.
So it's 2 different classes, but if it wasn't big enough, they would line us all up. Gate would drop. First class would go.
Okay.
Second class would go.
Okay.
So he went first. I went second. I saw him 3 laps in, sitting on the side.
Really?
I saw him. He was arm pumped out, just shaking his arms over there, just no feeling in him. And I was like, dude, he can't run that fast of a lap. He couldn't have. I pulled in. I felt good, and then I got there before he did the trailer, and they were like,
2 seconds.
they were like, he's coming. Like, and I was like, what do you mean? They were like, he beat you. And I was like, whatever. And then he did. He came in there, and to this day, I've never heard the end of it. To this day, I still get that. And then there was a couple races after that. We went out woods racing. We both won our first woods race.
Oh, really?
At the same track, and I was so mad.
Like the same weekend?
The same weekend.
Same
He was
time?
like, we're going to go race woods.
You were so mad.
I
Why were
was
you
so
mad?
mad. It was raining.
Okay.
We showed up, and
What
he raced first, and it was dry. And he was like,
you said that like so definite. It was raining. That's why I was mad.
Yeah, I hate the woods.
Okay.
I did not like the woods racing because, I mean, dude, you'd be moving at 50 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden,
tree.
And literally, I mean, you just mangle yourself. And it was awful. And then he won his race, and he was like, I won. And I was like, dude, that's crazy. Like, that was nuts. I was on a 65 then, 85. And then it rained. I lost both my gloves, goggles, And he was
How
like,
do you lose
how do
your
you-
gloves
no
on a
clue,
motorcycle?
no clue. I came in and he was like, where? He was like,
you just like let go at some point and it just blew
I
off.
think I probably wrecked and was like trying to hold on to handlebars and they were muddy and I was like, no good.
Pitched it.
No good. And then my bare hands wasn't any better. Muddy bare hands wasn't better. And then it was so muddy. I think we only ran 2 or 3 laps because I scanned. They put a barcode on the side of your helmet and they're like beep, and it tells you like on a board your time and everything where you're at. And he scanned me the first time and I remember I was in 4th, and I was so mad. It was rain. It was just like mud.
So you're just mad in general. You weren't
Yeah,
mad
I did
because
not-
you and Eugene finished the same. You just did not like
I
this
did
event.
not care at all about this race.
Oh, okay.
I was
All
so
right,
mad.
okay.
And then I came in for the lap. I knew I was on the last lap, and I was like, I'm going to the trailer. And he was like, no. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, no, you got one more. You can do it. And
So like there was like breaks between the laps?
no, when you came in, you kind of came back out to the field like where you started at.
Okay.
And then you kind of came to like these random like just like barriers that came up to it, and you had to stop. They'd scan you, and most of the time Eugene was just standing there, or like your pit crew was if you needed gas.
Oh, gotcha,
And he also had me
gotcha.
goggles because I had
You
no
lost
lost
them?
them. Gave me some, and then I was like, don't give them to me. I'm going to the trailer.
Okay.
And he was like, no, you're not. And I was like, I got mad, and I was like, I'm just going to drive off from him. And then I ended up running the lap, and I came back in, and he scanned me, and he was like, you won. And I was like, I don't care. I was like, I don't care. And I was like, I could care less. And I was like, no. And I drove back to trailer, and I never ran another one. I did run one like 5 years later, but it was kind of just like in a field.
Yeah.
But after that, he got that. I quit riding after that, and then
Man,
he showed
So
back
you
up in the
hate
race
the
car.
rain.
I hate the rain.
Clearly,
But the
man.
thing was, like, he used to, like on a 50, like when we was at an actual track, when it would rain, Eugene would be like, "This is your time."
So
This
you
you're
killed
good.
at a track
Yeah,
in the rain.
I was so good.
It was just the woods.
Just
the woods.
the woods was awful.
Yeah, that does
Absolutely
sound
awful.
super
That would scare me to
nerve-wracking.
death.
Yeah.
I was making 100 yards.
It was awful.
I was gonna say, it's hard enough like going fast in the woods on like a side by side or
Yeah.
a 4-wheeler.
Right.
I can imagine.
I got
on a
lost
motorcycle.
one time and like I thought there was like your trail that they had for the big box. They cut us off because I was like 65 or 85 at the time. Cut us shorter, and all of a sudden I was like realized I was following yellow markers. Then looked up and I only saw red, and I was like, what's going on? And I was like, why? What's happening here? And I just stopped and I kind of freaked out. Dude, I do not like the woods. I get sketched out being by myself out there. And I heard a man walking, and I was like, "This is not cool." And finally, he was like, "Hi."
Bigfoot. He's here.
Yeah, I was like, dude, even though we're at a racetrack, I've drove so far that this weird hillbilly man's probably found me and got me. And then some guy came out of there, and he had a cooler, and he was just like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Trying to race. Where am I?" He was like, "You need to go like 3 miles that way." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I finally went back, found a bunch of kids like laid out on a hill that they all wrecked at, and then saw the trailer from where we were at and just drove to it. That I never
done?
did it again. Never done it again.
That's crazy. I've never heard these
I-
stories.
It was awful.
Like I said, I knew you guys raced
I kinda
motorcycles,
wanna
but I
go to
didn't know
one.
all this.
Oh, it was.
So what's it like having Eugene as a dad? I know how he is at the racetrack and stuff. I'm just curious. I've always been curious about what's Eugene like growing up. You growing up.
He's hard headed. I mean, we were definitely, but it's like what both of us did, and
Yeah.
like he knew what made me mad.
So he
Well, I made
press your
him mad.
buttons
Yeah,
and
like we
both-
go to a racetrack and at first, like I thought I could come in at third and be like, dude, that was awesome. And he'd be like, dude,
Nope,
two
too
people
bad.
was ahead of you. Hit this jump over here, and I'd be like, dude, I finished third out of like 35 people. Like, what do you mean? And then finally, like later on, like I get why he was doing it.
Yeah.
And then he'd say something to me like on a first moto, because like outdoors you race one moto, then second moto, and they average out.
Oh, okay.
And then like I would race the first moto, he would say something that would make me mad, and I'd be like, well, I'm not gonna race the second moto. And then that's where,
Gotcha.
yeah, we started snowball effecting down through there, and finally I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then he was like, he started doing the hare scrambles, like outdoor the woods racing.
Okay.
And then cars. He
Nice.
got back into cars.
Yeah, that's good. So, I mean, at some point, I'm going to get Eugene on here, and I want to ask him some of this too. But you can give us a little bit, like the quick version. Eugene started racing. He was racing motorcycles, and then he went up to the river. Oh, he got like really hurt on one, right? At some point,
Oh.
and your mom and papa said, "If you'll stop racing motorcycles, we'll go circle track racing." Something
Yeah.
like that. That's the gist. I know.
Yeah,
of.
gist of it. He was he raced for a while after, because he was at I-81 one time. Back tire blew out on him. He took a hard left, and I-81's track, I'm talking about, is as hard as his desk.
Really?
Like, it's so hard. Like, Eugene hated being there just because, like, he was like, this track's awful.
Yeah.
But it was like points races.
Yeah.
And then he blew a tire. I was watching. I was the only person that I think was in our pits that saw it. Took a hard right, And I'm talking about it had to be 15, 20 feet straight to the ground. And I was like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
And like I ran over to Mom and was like, yo, Eugene's wrecked.
Yeah.
And she was like, was he all right? I'm like, no, he's not
He does
okay.
not look
He was
okay.
not okay. And he's not okay. And they finally got him up against the fence, and I ran over there, and he was like, what's going on? And I was like, you've wrecked. And he was like, I broke my back. And I was like, really? And he was like, I broke my back. And then the ambulance was like, the people were like, we're going to put you in an ambulance. And he was like, no. And they were like, what do you mean, no? They were like,
no.
They were like,
That's not even an actual answer.
yeah,
right
they
now.
were like, no. And he was like, what do you mean, no? And he was like, I'm not getting an ambulance. And he was like, okay. And he was like, my wife will drive me. And then they drove him she drove him to the hospital. And then he did not break his back. He punctured his lung. Well, he broke his rib that punctured into his lung.
Oh, God.
And then had a brain hemorrhage.
Holy
It was bleeding to the brain.
smokes.
And that was like, I think that's kind of when he started.
When he was like, this
when
is
he,
probably
yeah, he
not
was
the
headed.
best
Yeah,
thing
he was
for
like,
me.
all right, like this is a lot.
This is dangerous.
Yeah, this is dangerous. Then he kind of slowed down racing. I was still racing at that point. It was kind of more just me racing, and then finally when I kind of quit, he went to the woods. And then
Gotcha.
the doctor even told him at the hospital, it was hilarious. He came in and was like, Mr. Norton, next time you ride your motorcycle, you need to wear a helmet. And he was like, I was. And that guy went, like that was hard. That was very hard hit. And he was like, yeah. Then after that, he was like,
He's like, I'm not allowed not to wear a helmet.
Yeah, he was like, you need to be careful. And then he was like, I'm trying.
Oh, man. Yeah. So on the way, like before you got here, we were talking about it. And for everyone that doesn't know Toby, and now that you've got to know him a little bit from his stories, we decided that if Toby was a beer, he would be Natty Light. Would you agree with that?
Dude, that was the last case of beer I bought, and I do not normally drink Natty Lights.
Told you.
I'm a Busch Light guy.
Okay.
Because Barnum drank Busch Light.
Oh, yeah.
And then it'd be 100
Barnes,
degrees.
your grandpa.
Yeah, and then it'd be 100 degrees at his house. We'd be mowing, and I'd be like, I'm thirsty. Wouldn't point me toward the kitchen. Point me toward the mini fridge outside.
Busch
And there
Light
was
in it.
Busch Light. And then there we was drinking Busch Light. And then finally I was
So
like,
it's basically water.
yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it pumped you up for mowing. It got you good.
You sweated that much? It
So,
just went
yeah,
right back
you're
in.
good. Just right
Dude,
back
you were
out.
good. And then then the other
So
day
you
I
would
was
be
Natty-
Busch Light, not
Busch
Natty Light.
Light.
Okay,
Busch
all right. I
Light.
missed it by a little, but
Busch Light.
still.
I'll
But
drink
the last
that.
thing you
I'll
brought
drink
was
it.
Natty.
I did drink a case of Natties this weekend.
That sounds right.
Man.
Racetrack?
No, the day before.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. So, I guess we can probably get on topic a
rough.
little bit now that we've introduced our guests. I'm very happy you're here, by the
I
way.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Everybody that I told that you were coming on kind of went like that.
Yeah.
Every time I said
Yeah, I
it, I
can
was
see
like,
that.
Toby's going to invite, and they're like,
Yeah,
Is he?
I can see that.
so, okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, all right, cool.
And I said, heck yeah.
That could be a
It's
good
gonna
thing,
be
though.
great.
Yeah,
No,
that
it's
could
going
be
to
a
be
good
great.
thing,
That's
though.
what I told him. So, anyway, all right, so Toby, have you watched this podcast before or listened to it at all?
Yeah, I
before?
watched the last one when you talked.
Okay.
Well, I didn't know
After
I-
you asked him to come on, he was like,
I
No,
didn't
it
even
was,
know what's going
it was
on.
when Eugene, when Eugene called you and we
Oh,
talked
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know nothing about it because he was like Jake's podcast, and I was like, what
Oh,
are you
that was
talking
like the
about?
second or third one.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? And he was like, I was watching Jake's podcast the other night, and I called him, and I was on it. And I was like, He was like, yeah, I was on it, and I was like, you were on it, and he's like, well, I didn't mean to be. I called him, and then I was on the phone.
Well, he said
That's
he
an accurate
calls.
representation.
If you go back and watch it, he calls and he says, "What are you doing?" I said, "Nothing." Or he said, "I'm not interrupting filming, am I? Because of the YouTube stuff we do." And I was like, "No, man, we're just doing this podcast right now." Oh, okay. Well, that went over his head that we were doing the podcast, so he just kept talking. And then we get partway through, and Jackson goes,
Yeah, I
and I
did
was
see
like,
that.
"All right," and I clicked it on speaker.
Yeah, dude,
He's a
he is. I mean,
Eugene
he's hilarious.
he's
He
hilarious.
is so funny.
And yeah, when I say that you two were so similar, I mean that in a good way because like
Yeah,
I've never met people who like didn't like you guys.
that's yeah.
Like when you're around you cannot not have a good time.
You put us in a house like, dude, I'm about to move back in with him.
Are you?
That's gonna be good or really
2
bad.
weeks?
Yeah, maybe. And then you put us in a confined space for about an hour, and then don't have anybody like to communicate through that. It gets rough.
Well, there was like the one time we were down at Bonnie's eating, and Eugene comes over, and you were already sitting with us, and they both like pull a seat up together, and they start telling these stories just like this,
Yeah.
back and forth, and I was like, oh my god, these two are the
Yeah.
same person.
Yeah.
Like I'd never really had you guys side by side,
Yeah.
and like
She
same
met my
person.
mom first, and she was like, you and your like it's like me and my mom look identical.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, she was like, you were just like her. You look like her. You act like her. And then she met Eugene and Diana. And as soon as we walked out of the place, she was like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, I get it. She's like, that's where you. She's like, you act like Eugene, and I was like,
Same person. Like I said, when
Yeah.
you're with you guys, it's impossible to have a bad time. Like even if things go
Oh,
off the
yeah.
rails and people want to fight at the racetrack, you still leave and you're like, oh, it's fun.
oh yeah. It was the whole time while he was mad at the racetrack, there was still that part of me where it's like this is like he's just cracking me up, like 'cause he didn't care.
So y'all got
yeah.
torn up last weekend?
So,
This past
yeah.
weekend?
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into that. So last weekend was the Southeast Super Trucks first event. Finally, they've been rain delayed twice now. So they finally got their first race in. They're like a month behind schedule or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really sucks. I hate that's been going that way for them. But like those guys over at Southeast Super Trucks, man, they run a tight ship. It's a good series.
Cool.
I think you need to get your car and run those pure stocks. I was watching the pure stock race, and I was like, that'd be cool to see Wynn down there in these cars.
Yeah.
So first race, it was at Anderson Motor Speedway. They had pure stocks, vintage, limited late models, legends, trucks, and I think there was one other class that I'm missing. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
Vintage legends, pure stock, late models. There's only 5 races.
Okay, all right, I had it then. Yeah, okay, cool. I did have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So there's 5 races down there. First one, I'm just gonna kind of run through the races super quick, and that was one reason why I wanted Toby here, other than him being hilarious, was because he was actually there. We're bad at this and didn't
we didn't
come.
go.
You got babies, man.
I did have a baby. That was the whole reason why I wasn't there.
Yeah, he was like, if Emily would get here, I would just
I told
leave.
him-
But he was like, but I don't think she's gonna make it.
I
And was
called
like,
Toby, and
okay.
it was like 5 o'clock. I was like, if Emily walks in the next like 5 minutes, I'm just gonna haul ass down there. And he was like, all right, man, we'll just do what you need to do. But I didn't get there.
We talked about that like 3 o'clock. Jake's like, if Emily can get back home,
I talked
we'll
about
go
this
to
for
this
hours.
race.
Yeah.
I was like, it's only 2 hours away. We can get there. All right, so the first race up was the pure stocks. I thought the race was pretty good, like in general. I don't know if you watched a whole lot of it or not.
It wasn't.
They run green checkers.
That's what I was about to
There
say.
was
That
no
was a green
crashing.
checkered race.
It was clean racing.
They have a good field, too, don't they?
They had like
Yeah.
probably 7 or 8 cars.
I think there was
Shoot,
8.
is that all?
I think there was 10 that showed
I went-
up, but I
couple didn't make it.
think a couple of them.
Man, 2 weeks ago, they had in the teens.
Well, this is
I
first
went
race
to
of that.
Anderson.
Oh, at Anderson.
They
Well,
also-
this is,
they were
this
also-
is that event at
Oh,
Anderson.
oh,
though.
okay.
It's Southeast
I got
Super
you.
Trucks.
They were also
Gotcha.
split between Anderson and Tri-County this week, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many did you have at Tri-County this weekend?
A few showed up right before the race started because they
Gotcha.
went and raced Hickory, and then they showed up. So
So they ran Hickory run that. Did Tri-County run that late? Well, you guys.
we were
you
the
were the
last.
last
We
race.
closed it out. It was
Oh,
ridiculous, man.
That's rough. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Let's keep on this, and I want to talk to you. We're going to talk to you about your race for sure. But the main thing that happened in this race was the winner was a lady named Emma McJunkin.
Oh
Isn't that the best
Yeah.
last name you've ever heard in your life?
Mick Junkin.
During the whole race, I thought these commentators were saying Emmett McJunkin, but it's Emma McJunkin.
Emma.
She gets out, I was like, well, that's not an Emmett.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is not.
Yeah.
But what a cool name.
Good for her, man.
Sorry, I was
She
like
won
going
the truck or the
in the pure stock.
Pure stock.
oh, the pure stuff.
Yeah,
oh,
because
okay.
they were
I'm all-
racing or something, and about the time it ended or something, we was getting ready, and then all of a sudden we heard somebody talking. And
McJunkin.
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 I thought it was a
Got it.
fake name
I did too.
initially, but I'm pretty sure it was their
We heard
legit
somebody
name.
talking, and we thought it was like a woman talking to the winner, and then we realized
It was
she,
the
and then-
winner.
yeah, and then
She
she
was the winner.
was.
It was her first win, too.
Yeah, I was
which
gonna say she
really
couldn't have
cool.
been like maybe
It was hard to tell on
17,
TV. The camera
18.
was
She
really
may have
far
been
away.
like 17, 18.
Wow,
Yeah, it was
that's
pretty, it was
awesome,
impressive.
man.
Yeah, it was
Good for
really
her.
good. And like, and she had to like hold them off too. It wasn't like
Yeah.
she just like
Yeah.
went out and led. I mean, she led a lot of laps, but like she didn't pull a big gap. Like they were
Freaking
coming
sweet.
there at the end.
Green
So,
checker, that's impressive.
it was really
That's
good.
impressive.
Yeah, it was good. And like I said, that name is just awesome. I
That's
think I'm
pretty
her
sweet.
#1 fan now, just
Yeah,
off that.
yeah.
name. If she had some like shirts that just said McJunkin,
I'll own them.
I would definitely
I'll
own
own
them.
them.
McJunkin.
So the vintage race had 3 classes in it, which I thought was weird.
Well,
I didn't
they've done that
realize
before.
They did this.
That was the only race I did not see.
You didn't watch
Because
any of
Eugene,
it?
that was about the time he was getting ready, and I
I
thought I
gotcha.
was spotting during the race,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
did not want to do that at all. I was nervous during practice. And then
Who spotted for him?
T.J. Williams, the guy who finished second in
Tony's
the
son.
Southeast Super. Is that Tony's son? That's
Tony's
what
son.
I knew.
I
it was-
think so.
I knew
He's
it
a
was-
Williams.
Yeah, when I saw Williams, I thought they were
I think that's Tony's son.
related, but he spotted for Eugene, and then Eugene, well, he was supposed to go for Panama.
Yeah, I know.
He's in Panama right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And Diana was like, Eugene wants to spot for somebody in a truck. And then we realized who it was, then he was spotting for him, and then, so Eugene's mad out of a race car, then he has to hop up and then go spot for him and
Yeah.
swap back and forth.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, we'll get to.
So I thought
we'll
the
get to
vintage.
this, though.
I've normally seen the vintage have different classes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
This is like the first year that I haven't seen it.
Well, this is the first time I've like watched a race with the vintage cars that I got to actually like hear the commentary. Like I usually just see the race. I don't ever know what's going on.
Right.
So there's normally these 3 classes, 2 or 3 classes going on. Well, I mean, I knew there's a distinct speed difference in them, and so I figured there was something, but I didn't know there was 3 classes.
I just thought there were slower cars.
I did too. I thought they were just some guys were out there just having a good time.
driving.
Yeah,
It's like
that's what it is.
last season, there was like 9 of them for one race at Tri-County.
Yeah.
And there was
I
like
think 9 was
3
probably a
and
big field.
2 and 3.
Yeah, and it's like you
Yeah.
could.
They were all broken up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yep.
But man, there was a '57 Chevy there that looked awesome, and that thing was radical fast.
Was
But
it really?
yeah, it was really. I mean, it's probably a late model under
I'm sure
under
it
the
is,
skin,
yeah.
but it was fast. The thing I love about this class though is it was a '57 Chevy, and then like a '70s body style Camaro was running 1 and 2.
Really?
Yeah, so like it
70
was, or
something.
maybe it might have been later than that. It's hard to tell on TV a little bit, but like it was a later body style Camaro than this '57 Chevy, and he was fast too. Like he was, I think if he kind of got down on the curb in 1 and 2 near the end, and it kind of threw him up the track. And I think it's the only reason he didn't probably make the
I
pass
think they have
in
to
that
be a
race.
74 or earlier, maybe.
Okay, well maybe it was
Something,
the
I don't know
early
why.
'70s.
I think
That's what I thought. It's early
Yeah.
70s, something like
Yeah.
that.
So I don't know why that year, but
But it was I really like that. His name was Steve Howard that won that race, and those cars are running like low 18s down there
Wow.
in race pace.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
So,
they,
like,
they
it
were
was fast.
quick. They were
It was
quick. When they
fast.
came out, we were watching. We were even like, dude, they're moving.
That 57 and that Camaro was, they were bad fast. So then came the limited late model race. So you guys didn't have such a great weekend
We had a tough weekend.
in general.
We had a tough weekend.
It was a bad weekend.
Yeah, it was a
in
bad
general.
weekend.
Toby was keeping me up to date in Snapchat kind of. And at one point, I'm watching race, because when I'm not there, I watch Race Monitor, I check the schedule, I watch Race Monitor for every session and see how they're doing and everything. Well, the first practice was fine, they were like 6th or 7th or something, I was like, okay, out of like 15, it's not so bad. Second practice, it comes up and it was like, he run second. I was like, oh man, he picked up some speed, he found some speed, that's good. But then I noticed that everyone had only run like 4 or 5 laps. I was like, that's kind of weird. But I just didn't think anything about it. I thought maybe they'd put them on the race tires or something for like the last practice, which I thought was weird, but maybe. And then I texted Toby and I was like, practice looked good, man. What's, anything crazy? And I just get, bro, call me. And I was like, okay. And I was like, this is not good. If Toby's telling me to call, it's not good. So what happened in practice 2?
So we went in practice 1, and dude, we were quick.
Yeah.
And so he was like,
you were only like a few tenths off of the fast guy in first practice.
We were sitting there, and he was like, spot for me. And I never spotted. So
Yeah.
I was like,
You've been up there with me.
I tried to talk Ken into it.
Yeah,
I was like,
Ken's
Ken, do it. He's like, I can get on the trailer.
Yeah.
He's like, I can get on top of the
Oh,
trailer.
you're like heights?
No.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And he did not. He put the ladder up, then he went, test
10
it.
feet.
I was like, test it. And he was like, I ain't testing it. He was like, I ain't getting up there. And I was like, all right. And then I told Eugene, I was like, Ken spot? And he was like, no. And I was like, all right. So I got up there. First practice, nobody passed us.
Yeah.
No, like when we started, there was I think it was the 74 car maybe, that we kind of were just like sticking with.
Okay.
And I mean, they were running good. And I mean, I don't think I ever said a word. I was like, hey,
Well,
cars
I mean,
pulling
in
out, stuff
general,
like that.
so
Nothing-
like to preface this story where it's going, in general, there's not really a huge need to pass
No.
in practice.
No.
Like you should, if you're about to pass someone, most likely you're gonna kind of back off,
Yeah.
give them like 4 or 5 cars, and then kind of go back up to speed.
Yeah.
You're just kind of maintaining your pace.
Yeah, he was
Without
just like,
going, because you're not there to race. You're there to make sure your car's good.
yeah, he was just like, make sure that somebody's pulling out, I know they're pulling out, somebody's behind me catching up or something like that, make sure I'm clear. I was like, all right, so nothing was really said. We got out for the second practice, and I think, was it 3 or 4? 3
It
or
was like
4.
the 4th lap. I
Something
think.
like that. We were running, and we were going behind somebody, and it was the 38. And Eugene's on the bottom, and this guy just pulled out.
So
And
he had just come up on the track.
he just came on the track. And
went up high.
went
turn
up,
1.
and then he made a lap warming his tires up. But he was like,
Okay.
he was on the outside, just
okay.
like people were going around him. And then Eugene goes into 1, and where I'm on the trailer, I can't see the very inside of 1 because of the other trailers, but I see them popping out of 2. And as soon as they go in and get like out of my sight, I'm like,
Uh-oh.
they're getting close.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're getting really close.
Yeah.
And about the time they pop out, Eugene's on the hood of the 38 car.
He drove over.
In
it.
Drove,
practice?
yeah.
In
They,
practice too.
the guy, the kid drove down and they wheel hopped each other. Eugene jumped on top, and then this point, they're just spinning. I mean, I see parts everywhere flying. And I'm like, and automatically I'm like, this is over. We're done.
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as it stopped,
like, we're going home.
Oh, yeah, I thought he was.
Yeah.
And as soon as we did, I was like, I got on the radio, and I was like, hey, are you good? And he didn't say nothing. But he already had his helmet off, but I didn't know that.
He's mad.
And then I was like, hey, are you good? And he didn't say nothing, so I was like, okay, I'm going to run down there.
Eugene gets that helmet off quick in
he
those
does.
situations.
And then I got down there and realized he had his helmet off, and I did not realize I was standing beside the trailer of the people that ran into us. And I didn't say anything bad. I put my hands up, and I was like, what the? And that guy was like, and that guy went, it's your driver. And I was like, you came down onto us. Like, I was just like, yeah, and he went, he doesn't have a spotter. And I went,
like that's
yeah, and I went, what? And he was like, he didn't have a spotter. He didn't know. And I was like, well, this is our first problem.
Yeah.
We got drivers out here with no spotters.
So the kid didn't have a spotter?
Yeah. Nobody watching him.
And
Which, to be fair, there's not a requirement for a spotter during practice.
Yeah.
But it's just common sense.
Yeah,
that you should have a spotter during
especially if you're coming out late, then all of a sudden you're just like,
I would never
you're chilling on the
crawl.
outside.
I've seen how Eugene sits in one of those cars. Like, his head's
you
like
can't
here at the
see.
door,
Yeah.
and he has to
freaking
like
see.
look up over the steering wheel.
Yeah.
So like, you cannot crawl in one of them cars and not have somebody at least.
Yeah, that's insane.
It was crazy. And then this guy was yelling at me, and then I don't even know he wasn't even a racer.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, that's your first problem. You ain't got a spotter. And then I was like headed toward the truck, and dude, I'm wearing pink shorts. And he goes,
Did you have him gold rim sunglasses?
I did. I'm wearing a Kyle Busch shirt, so you know most of the rednecks there probably didn't like it. It just wasn't. I didn't look like I needed to be there kind of at that point. And he was like smacking his chest, and he was like, "You're real fucking tough," walking away. And I went, "I'm not tough. I'm smart. I'm telling my driver where to go." And then after that, there was just like, well, the kid driving it. I mean, he was a young kid. I mean, you couldn't. I mean, dude, he could have been 14 or he could have been 20. I mean, it was just like he was really like you could tell he was really young because Eugene was like, I don't know. And then he was like, I don't know if he's old enough. He was just like, kids are out here.
So he just walked away.
Yeah, he was just.
They hauled it in. They had to haul it in.
No, he drove it in.
Oh, he drove it in.
He drove it in after we pulled a bunch of the parts off the other guy's car from underneath Eugene's, and then we pulled like 5 or 6 just different parts just off out of the bottom of Eugene's car. He drove it back in, and then
did he like get over him before like this whole incident finished? Like Eugene was on him.
About the time that Eugene went over, he was facing the outside wall, and then this guy kind of let off it, and Eugene just kind of slid off and spun around and was facing the inside wall because I was looking at him on the inside of the track.
Gotcha.
And then that guy was young, so that just started a problem, kind of. And
that kind of divulged into the whole night, right?
Yeah, Ken looked at him as he came. That kid got towed, and that kid, as Ken came by, he just went, "Where's your spotter?" Yeah. And the kid leaned out of the car and was like, "Yeah, F you." And then that was bad. I screamed F you, and then Eugene told me to calm down, and after that point, I knew I needed to calm down.
Yeah. If Eugene said he to calm down.
Yeah, he was like, calm down, there's women around. And I was like, all right. And then, women around. It was Diana and Peggy.
The women down there are worse.
Yeah, dude, Diana. I was like,
I'm surprised Diana didn't go fight that kid.
And I was like, Diana's down here. Like, she was the one to go whoop somebody. And then that guy, so that the 38 car had a teammate.
But before this, nothing got hurt on the car. Like other than the body work.
Yeah, he checked.
Ken patched the body back together.
Yeah.
And the car was still fast.
Dude, it looked perfectly fine. After we pulled it in, the scratch took a heat gun to it, kind of just like molded the front back together. Mm-hmm.
Which is
check the exhaust.
How do you go over another car and not tear the exhaust off or wreck the suspension or something?
Because it was nuts. All the parts out there, I was like, dude, we're not racing.
Yeah.
They were none of our parts.
Yeah, they were all his.
Yeah, and I was like, that sucks for him, but like,
that's crazy.
I'm glad it's not ours.
Yeah,
I mean, just like simple as that.
I mean, that's all you can do in that situation.
Win and qualify. He qualified.
So the first 25 laps, it was a 50-lap race. 25 laps, green flags. It was good.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good racing. It was clean, and then like lap 27.
Dude, that's his number, man.
Everything goes.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Everything went wild in 27.
Yeah. Did he cause the first wreck?
I didn't see it.
I don't think
the TV. You can't see it. They didn't show it. They never showed a replay.
I think. Well, dude, the guy driving the 7 car got his license the day before.
Oh wow.
And dude, he was quick.
Yeah.
He was quick, and I remember seeing. I don't think he
running.
I don't think he finished. No, I don't think he finished. I think he's the one who caused the first caution.
Oh,
then because he was just like up on 2, sitting there, and I don't really know what happened to him. I was watching Eugene, and then the first caution came in, and that put us behind the 66.
Okay.
that put the 66 behind us.
Gotcha.
And then
So the first caution was just a spin. I forgot.
Spin.
I was thinking first caution was you guys. So okay, but
no,
it
we were
wasn't.
second, third, fourth, fifth, and every other one out. It felt like that after that.
It felt like that.
Yeah.
Man, it was bad to watch on TV.
Yeah, because we didn't know they were teammates. But even though the cars look pretty much identical, I don't think just any of
You
us.
didn't think about
any,
it.
Yeah, any of us.
Well, I mean,
put
you
it
don't really
together.
think about kind of getting targeted in a race like
well,
this.
the kid who that we ran over, dude, it did. He started the race, and
Yeah,
his whole front end was taped. I mean, it was taped, and I mean, he didn't finish the race, and I figured obviously it's covered because a whole other car ran over him in practice, and something fell apart, and then, dude, after.
Yeah, it went wild. So the guy spins. So what happened in this? Again, I could not see what happened to you guys in any of the 3 wrecks that you guys were in. I didn't see any of it. So tell me what was going on.
We go back to caution, and I'm pretty sure he was either right behind us, like one car behind us when we started after the first caution, and they run a couple laps, and he finally gets to Eugene, and I'm talking about dumps him in turn 1.
So kind of comes under him.
You tell he was shooting inside.
Just wasn't making
cooks,
the corner.
Bam, just took us to the rear end, and once our rear end
crushed
hit,
the rear end.
Yeah, I
saw
thought
it when he backed in. I figured you guys were done.
I did think we was done again, and then he came in and he was so mad.
Eugene
was. And I was like, well, I tried to get down the window and I went, hey, you good? And I could hear him. And I was like, you all right? Like, you good? And he just kept going. I was like, go get him then. And then he was like, drove out of there. And I was like,
well, even in the commentary for the race, they kept going, wow, that 27 Eugene Norton, he's back out there.
Yeah,
he's like, oh man, they got the thing put back together. He's back out there, which is like very reminiscent of when we were at Dillon racing street stock. We just kept going back. The commentators were like, there's Eugene Norton, the Potbelly Stallion. They've somehow got that car back together. He's been wrecked 4 times so far. But anyway, so then second race that you guys are involved in.
Yeah.
What happened there? Similar?
Eugene wanted retaliation. So we spun that guy. I don't think that guy came in. It was just us that came in, and this is when we were destroyed the back end. So Eugene gets back in behind him, and I tried talking, calm him down, didn't work.
No.
Wasn't going to. I knew it wasn't. I was just trying. And then we go into. We get spun out in 4 this time. Mm-hmm. No, we spin him out in 4.
Okay.
So, but Eugene doesn't take him to the wall.
Yeah.
Eugene just doesn't drive him. Eugene gets under him and just dumps him. I mean, he does dump him. Yeah. But, I mean, it's just like, spin out. Mm-hmm. And then, here we go again. He's back behind us.
There's the last lap. You guys are coming to the checkers in the last wreck.
We go back. Yeah, because this point, Eugene tears the hood up when he does it.
Yeah,
so we're trying to bungee cord the hood.
Yeah,
and then finally we were like, pulled it off and finally duct tape around it, and then
because they run quite a few caution laps, letting you guys get back out there.
Yeah, and then
that is something that these guys are so good about. It's like they don't count caution laps at all, and so if they give you some time, they'll give you 4 or 5 laps if they think you can make it back out. You know, that's pretty cool.
And then we had another caution that wasn't us. Because it was a bunch of cautions. It was a spin on the front straightaway, and granted the 66 was the one battling with us, was driving like a wild man out there. But like they spun on the front stretch, and like I watched him hurry and jerk it, smack it off wall, and get back and miss the whole wreck. And I was even like, wow, that was nice. I was even like, you may have just tore the whole side off that car, but that was impressive that you didn't do that. And then those two came in. One dude, the 81. His whole front, like, quarter panel there was hanging off, and he drove by our trailer and knocked our wheels down.
Oh, no.
And that did not make Ken happy.
No,
it did not.
Ken's sensitive about the tires.
Yeah, he did not like that. And then that put us once again behind him.
Yeah.
And then every turn they went into, it was just rearing and just either one. And then the last
lap, you guys come to the checkers and they show a video over time. And there's just 3 cars piled into the wall.
60
and I just see Eugene getting out, and I've never seen Eugene get out of the car. In a race, he always brings it back in. I've literally never seen them bring the car back on a wrecker. And I saw him getting out of the car, and I was like, someone's about to get in a fight, or Eugene is like, he's hot.
Yeah, he was. And then the 66 drove in the last turn, and there was like, I want to say it was Cameron that was also around him. It may not have been Cameron, it was somebody.
Okay.
And then apparently we're last lap, I think the 66 was trying to get another position, and he drove it in so hard that he lost it. But as
Just
soon
gotta
as he
watch
turned
out.
sideways, he saw Eugene and let the brake go,
Mm.
rolled up on him,
Mm.
and then we just mangled three
Mangled
cars.
it,
And then
yeah.
as soon as they did, then you heard Eugene stop. Then like everybody was like, "Oh," the race goes on, and then Eugene gets out, and dude, everybody goes nuts. They do. They're
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, like, yeah, Eugene.
Really?
Like, I'm on top of the trailer, and I can hear people in the stands yelling Eugene.
See,
Like,
I told
"Yeah."
you, Eugene, you cannot have a bad time
No.
when Eugene
And I,
Toby's
yeah,
involved.
dude, and I was like, oh my god. And this whole time I'm like, okay, not only did we wreck our car, we wrecked both of their cars.
Oh yeah.
So like,
Oh, they're ruined.
yeah, well, yeah, they're done for. And then I
So
was
what?
like,
So what ended up? Like, do you know what was wrong with the car?
Oh, no, 'cause by the
Diana
time-
just sends me a picture and just says we're totaled.
by the
And I
time,
was like,
by the time that they got, because the wrecker brought it in,
Yeah.
obviously, and then by the time that the wrecker got, because I think Eugene's may have been the last car he got because it was the farthest one onto the
Mhm.
wall. About the time Eugene's already get back in here changing because he knows he's got to go.
yeah,
He's
I
got to
saw
go
him go
spot
by
for
on the
TJ.
video.
Yeah.
They were like showing Victory Lane. I just see him
Yeah.
going by, and I was like,
Yeah, and then I was up there and I was gonna stay, and then those people kept walking by our trailer, and well, they were on top of their trailer and they were flipping me off, and I was just like, and then I was like, and he kept telling me to come over there, and I was like, no, you're gonna beat me up, like he was huge, bro, and I was like I just knew, like I wasn't even like mad, I was just the whole time I wasn't like I'm gonna whoop you,
oh, well, of
because
course
obviously I'm not going to,
No.
and then I just knew it, and then he was like, come over here, and I was like, no. And then they keep walking by our trailer, and then they're just laughing just because our car's messed up. Then he was like, "We'll see you next weekend." I was like, "He'll be in Panama," and I was like, and he went,
He'll be
and
in
then
Panama.
it was a kid that we ran over first, so he didn't finish the race, and he came in, and while we're on the track, he was like, "You were looking real fast out there after we wrecked." I was like, "You're walking in the pits." I was like, "You're real fast walking on your feet in the pits." Like that was about it, and I was like, and I wasn't the whole time. I was just like.
Why? I don't understand why everybody takes this so serious.
We
Oh,
should have parked it at
there
one
should be
point.
a lot
So
there should be so much more fun had at the racetrack.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
Like everybody's there to
Oh,
throw
no.
hands.
as soon as you
out.
bump cars,
Oh,
and
you're
like
getting
if you
totaled.
scratch a good-looking car's
Oh, you're
paint,
getting totaled.
your car is gonna. The person that you scratch their car, they're gonna make sure yours is worse.
It's worse.
Just
yeah.
because
Most
you put
likely
some
coming
tire
back
prints
on a
on the side.
record.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is nuts.
it was. So neither one of them finished. Yeah, because they didn't finish.
Yeah, you didn't
'Cause
make.
we
They didn't
were-
make it to the
we
finish.
were-
You were about 300 feet
Yeah,
from
that's
the
what I was
finish
gonna say.
line.
We're about 300 feet from finishing, but we didn't.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you guys are 11th in points though, so it's not so bad.
Hey,
But that was
worse,
rough.
hey, we finished at 10th last year, so we're just
Yeah.
one spot back.
There you go. And that was the
Yeah,
first
there-
race, and
Yeah, it's just
I
first
don't know. I
race.
just hope we can get back together. I don't know how bad it is. I went out through there
Need
the
a
other
clip?
day to see if anyone.
I haven't seen it because me and her were together, and then we drove down there, and then we and Eugene were pretty heated, and Diana was like, "I don't think you guys need to be down here," and because what Diana kept saying, she was like, "Police are over there, stop." And I was like, and finally she was like, "Y'all just go over there," and I knew he was going to, and then I knew this guy was mad at me, just
Yeah.
waiting to beat me up
Just
if I
like, I'm
walked
gonna
around.
go
So I
home.
was like, "I'm gonna go up here and watch the rest of the races,"
Yeah.
and then I was like, I got out of there.
Well, the Legends cars were next, and those guys were clean as well. Super fast. Like those cars are weirdly
They have a
fast.
caution?
I don't think they had a
I don't-
single caution.
I don't think they
I
did.
don't think. Maybe one.
It's
But it
rare
was just
to
like a
see
spinner.
one in the
Yeah, I would say most of
It,
the time they're pretty,
was.
they're
It
pretty
was just
clean.
like a spinner. So I mean, it was like I said. In general, it was clean, and it was.
That's good.
But like I said, those cars do look fast.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Trucks were the same way as the limited race though.
Yeah.
Really.
Wreck
Just
fest,
beat.
on and on.
Who
and
won
on.
that?
Marty Ward, the guy
Yeah,
who won
yeah,
the vintage
really?
race.
Yeah,
The guy who won
yeah.
the vintage race.
nice.
Right.
He was
That's cool.
he was talking about. They were talking about that. That's why I wanted to make sure I pointed that out because Marty's son commented. He saw our podcast at some point when we were talking about it,
Yeah.
about that vintage race, and he was like commenting on it. Man, that was cool to see him win.
Yeah.
He had a fast car, but he was probably like the second or third fastest. But them
Really?
other guys just tore their stuff up.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was it.
everybody
Yeah,
got
like
wrecked.
TJ, like he sat like when you just spotted for him, he was just like, "Hey, if you can keep this clean, you're going to come out pretty good."
Yeah.
And then I mean, he got up second, and then I mean, Marty he was pretty quick.
Yeah.
He was really quick
Yeah.
compared to everybody else that was still there racing
Yeah.
at the end of it. And then I mean, dude, he held second. I mean,
Yeah, it was good. So TJ finished second.
Yeah.
Oh really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he
cool.
got
I didn't
second.
realize. I missed
Yeah.
it. Well, see, we got to like lap 8, or 8 laps left, and we had so many cautions. I was like, I'm going to bed. I'm tired of
Yeah.
watching this because it was just on and on.
it
and
was,
on.
yeah, because we were sitting up top, and I was finally like, they're getting close. And then finally it'd be like, caution, caution. Then we was like 45 minutes later. Then I was
Yeah.
like,
Do they have a time
No,
restriction?
not on the
they were-
truck.
they
Not
were-
on the
they-
limiteds and the
and-
trucks. There's
and-
no time.
well, they ain't got a curfew either there. We still out there.
Oh, they
by,
don't have a curfew?
They didn't have a curfew. We were still out there by like 10:30, 11.
Yeah, that's
like
good,
it wasn't
yeah.
it wasn't too bad.
I mean, you guys didn't start racing until 7 o'clock.
That is very true.
I mean, it was 7 o'clock for the gentleman start your engine. So
Yeah.
Whew, dang.
Yeah.
So that was that. Southeast Super Trucks. Like I said, it's a good series. The people who run it are just good people, and like they run a clean ship. So that's always good.
Yeah.
But Tri-County was racing this weekend also. Wynn was the only one of us that got to be there. But you raced again this weekend.
Sure
How'd it
did.
go? Tell
Better.
us about it.
Didn't wreck.
Didn't
Hey,
finish it. That's
hey,
a very
finished.
that's a very big
improvement.
positive.
Oh yeah, finished the race. It was great. Had a good time.
Oh come on, you gotta give me more than that.
Oh,
Talk about it. Talk about what happened throughout the time.
Started on the outside pole.
Yeah, there you go.
'Cause I got
See,
inverted.
that's
No,
good.
oh,
I
you
don't
got
care.
inverted?
I don't
Yeah,
care.
no, because I
Outside pole,
qualified.
outside pole. I don't care how you got there.
Both pole.
That's all that matters.
The bad part is, I hate to even admit this, but my foot slipped off the freaking accelerator on the start.
Oh, did it really?
And the car that won the race packed me pretty good.
Did it?
Yeah, and I felt
Oh.
like a complete moron.
I mean, it happens. I mean, what can you do?
Yeah, that was stupid.
I mean, it's
That's
not stupid.
stupid.
It's
That
just
just
a
slipped off
screw
the
up.
side.
As soon as it happens,
There's a
you're like,
difference
wow.
in stupid
Oh,
and
yeah.
screw up.
Yeah.
Like stupid's like I should have known better. Like a screw up's like, oh man, I didn't mean for that to happen.
It was a major screw up, yeah. But it was fun, yeah.
That's good. So you finished
Only
fourth?
one caution, I think. Yeah, one
Oh, really?
caution. Yeah, the car chasing me spun out.
Oh, okay.
How many did y'all have?
How many cars?
Yeah.
There's a few that came in right before the race started. So, not many.
Yeah.
Probably like 8 or 10,
Eight.
maybe 10.
Not bad.
Not that many.
Not that many,
Eight.
okay.
Probably 8 at the most, probably.
That's a pretty decent field. Like I said,
That's
that's
all right.
probably
Top
about
3
what they
cars are
had it.
super good. They're all grouped together, and then
Yeah.
everyone else is like.
Yeah.
So top 3 is
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
But they didn't. I mean, I could see them in front of me at the
Yeah.
end of the race.
Well,
so,
that's a good
yeah.
thing too.
Had a good time, man. That was
Nice.
jam up time right there.
That's really good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, that was
We're-
when are you gonna come to
I
one?
don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Nate's
I've
racing
got
the
to-
next one.
Okay, Nate's racing the next one. When is the next one?
Not this coming weekend, but the weekend after.
The weekend
that.
after.
And then,
Okay,
so I'll have
gotcha.
a month.
You have a month off.
I'll go practice.
Well, hopefully by then I can have like
Surely.
enough time to
Surely.
get there.
We're gonna get on Emily's schedule so you can.
Yeah, you gotta. That's what I'm
Jackson?
saying.
No, ahead of schedule, reserve the time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We need to go ahead and book that date for me
Jackson
real
can
quick.
go, right, Jackson?
Well, driving back home after is a problem because
Why?
I take little naps
Hotel.
sometimes when I drive.
Hotel.
Hotel and
Wait,
try
yeah.
it's
I want
Wait.
to pay for a hotel.
See, it's only an hour and a half. You're good.
Take naps when I drive.
So wait, hold on a second. So you're telling him to come? Is what you're saying? Even if I don't
Like,
come?
I know he can come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to
You're
get
not
freed
on my
up,
schedule.
and then we're
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He can. Oh, for sure he can
Yeah.
good. Right.
Jackson ain't
Yeah.
never got nothing going on.
Not usually.
Not
Not
usually.
usually. Not usually.
So like I said, the plan is, so get everything lined out, ironed out, and I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna go with you the whole day, and we're gonna film the whole
Oh, really?
Shit Points episode on. it.
Nice.
That'd be
okay.
sweet.
Yeah,
That'd be
I want
sweet.
to cover it from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Get everybody
Good.
involved there. I think that'd be really cool.
That would be
so we'll
cool.
do that.
Yeah,
That's fully my plan. So
That's
get all
awesome.
the kinks ironed out.
Especially
That's
since we
why I
know that
haven't
Nate
come.
doesn't care.
Oh, it's getting a lot better. Car's a lot better. So yeah, I'm glad you've waited
Yeah.
because of inexperience.
When I was there for the first race, the car ran at least. It was just Nate driving. You weren't driving.
That's right. That's
yeah.
true.
So I
Yeah,
was
that's
there.
true.
I've at least seen it run, which is
Nate
good.
went out in practice and ran really well.
Did he?
Yeah.
You think he's gonna do pretty good in a couple weeks?
I think he'll be hanging with those top 3 cars. I'm not sure if he'll be
Need to
past
find
them.
just a little more to get by them guys.
A few more things, yeah.
Maybe they need to get caught on something. Maybe.
So he might be that guy. They get all together and then boom, there he goes.
Yeah, that's true.
They're gonna have to do something.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be a little discrepancy there among them cars, maybe.
That one car has just,
Blown the doors off everybody. Yeah.
yeah.
What do you do?
And he's
Seems
a
like
new
it happens all
driver,
the
too.
time. No matter where you are, it seems like there's like that one
Yeah,
guy.
the
you're
street
like,
stock
how is
guy,
he
the
so
08,
freaking
man.
fast?
The 08.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's on a roll. What, three races in a
No
row?
one's
This
even,
Yoder
even
kid is
Ledbetter
one.
came up.
Really?
They
He
got
couldn't run
Led-
with Ledbetter. Or I mean, Ledbetter couldn't run with him.
No.
Wow.
Wow.
That's saying something because that car is bad fast. Is he?
Yeah.
He's still in that 32 car? The blue
No,
Camaro?
they've
He's
got a
car.
new
The-
4 car. The 32 car got wrecked at the bash.
Oh.
They're fixing it.
Yeah.
Man, I miss seeing
What
that car.
is it? A Camaro too?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I mean, it looks completely different. Same model. It's
Yeah.
that it's not an F body,
Gotcha.
but it's got a new Camaro nose on it, which
Yeah. Yeah.
it's sweet.
Is it? Okay. That's
It's
good.
a nice ride, man.
Yeah.
But no,
Those
he didn't
guys-
have
that
anything.
guy, man.
That 08.
I'd love to
Young.
watch him race. I'd rather watch him race than just about
He is
everyone
young.
because
Did Tri-County do 4 cylinders? this weekend?
They did, and
Was
it was
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 the
the
Civic there?
Honda Civic guy there?
the Honda Civic was
Dude.
the other Civic.
That
Dude,
is
you
my
really wanna-
favorite driver
Yeah.
to ever
Yeah.
sit behind a wheel. No, like ever,
Period.
NASCAR
It's
and
great.
all.
Watch
Like
out,
that's
Kyle Busch.
he is.
Got
That
the
was
92
amazing.
front wheel drive.
Quite a few
in
people talk
Tri-County.
about that
Dude,
guy.
it's
It's
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
My little brother, like I mean, Tater was 11, 12,
Yeah.
and then he was like, we were sitting there, and we were walking past through Tri-County, and he was like, look at that Civic. And I was like, I didn't even look at the lineup of cars. I was like looking at where the tunnel goes through. I was
Yeah.
waiting for it to come out. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, the race car. And I was like, you mean the Honda Civic race car? Then I looked and I was like,
Oh,
Honda
it is.
Civic. Stock
I was,
wheels,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I was like, please.
Headlights
Please
are gone
win
and
this
that's-
race.
yeah.
Still had a dash pad.
Yeah, that's
speedometer,
what we
everything.
talked about that. Yeah, we were
There
like,
might
dude,
be
that's
a radio
dash
in
pad.
that thing.
He might.
That's
he
what I
might
was
be.
thinking.
Like there might be.
So
Yeah,
it's
that's
Leonard
crazy.
Skinner just
He
turned
wasn't
it
there.
Dude, that's how he wins. If there's not one in it, he needs to put a radio in it, and that right after there, winning.
Oh man.
He wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
No.
Oh, that's
I
sad
mean,
because that thing.
There's
was,
no point
it's
watching
fast and
without
fun
him.
to watch.
I know. Yeah.
But it was. You said it was a mess.
What's that?
The
What
race-
is it?
you
No,
said-
I just won the good race.
Oh,
The-
gotcha. I
what
was
is it?
worried
Four
there.
cylinder or is
Yeah.
it front
Front
wheel
wheel
drive?
drive.
Oh,
drive.
front-wheel drive,
Front-wheel
yeah.
drive, yeah.
Yeah,
The
just
four
boring.
they all have to be 4 cylinders, and I looked up like how they define it, and it has to be the 4 cylinders have to have like 1
I thought you
horsepower
were like looking up
per
to
100
build
pounds
one.
of
And
car.
I was like,
We'll put you in a four.
No, I looked. It was like 1
Put him in
horsepower
one.
Yeah.
per 100 pounds of car or something like that,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous.
I watched
That's
Mitch. I
nuts.
watched Mitch nearly die in one of those.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
That was.
Holy
I
smokes.
wasn't there that night, but his
Oh, you weren't?
granddaughter. I was at the bar, and his granddaughter was there, and I just remember being like, "Hey, how'd Mitch do?" And she was like, "He's in the hospital. He broke his leg."
Broke
and I
his
was
leg,
like,
back
I thought he broke his
concussion.
shoulder too.
He
His
dislocated
shoulder
his
was
shoulder.
out. Yeah,
Dislocated his shoulder,
dislocated it,
broke his leg,
and it had like
concussion.
a rough concussion.
Yeah.
It was scary. It was really scary.
You see some nasty wrecks in those things.
Yeah, for
man.
sure. Because
They're-
I think people kind of underestimate it. Like those cars are still going plenty fast.
Oh, they're
like
fast,
plenty fast to
dude.
get you hurt.
They're fast.
For the
Yeah.
track when you're in it, you're probably like, "Dude, I wish I had some horsepower." But when you go to wrecking, you're like, "I'm wrecking at a
Yeah,
high
exactly.
speed right now."
They're not
Exactly.
slow.
No,
No,
definitely
They're
not.
pretty
No.
quick, man. The one
So,
that won.
What was the best race of the night at Tri-County this week? Because they had
The
twin
one
late
I was
models.
in,
Yeah,
baby.
The one you're in? Yeah.
They had
I
two
like
late
it.
models. Yeah. I wish if the limiteds were there, it'd been good.
So it wasn't
I like
there wasn't a limited race this weekend?
No, unfortunately not. I don't know. I guess
Seems like the limiteds and street stocks are always the best race down there anymore.
Limited.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, it's well, there's just never a late model field. There's only like
No,
6
there's
cars
not.
or
Yeah,
whatever, and they get strung out.
Yeah, man. Limited and street stock. You're right. Yeah, so I guess street stock race.
Probably the
was
best one.
I was
Did
I was
anybody
right
have
after,
anything?
so I didn't get to watch.
Oh,
I was getting
gotcha.
ready. Yeah.
Did anybody
Oh.
have anything for the 08, like at all?
Shoot, no.
No.
Liz Better was no man.
So
he,
Jesse wasn't there, so he didn't have any
I'm pretty sure the
competition.
08 had to start in the back too.
Really?
Yeah.
Passed
Yeah,
them all. Wow.
yeah he
That
had
thing's
no problem.
radical.
Yeah, Davey Smart didn't have anything for him. And
Wow.
he got wrecked.
Davey did?
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
What happened there?
Not 100% sure.
Gotcha. Wait, you weren't able to watch it?
No, I was in the car shaking like a dog. You
Getting
know.
ready, man.
Like, yeah. No, I actually wasn't too nervous. Once the race starts, I'm good.
Yeah, of course.
Leading up, and we were the last race too, so I was like,
That's
the
a
whole
long. That's
day,
a long night.
I couldn't
too.
enjoy the racing. I was like, man, I'm a little nervous, like the whole day.
I did that on a motorcycle.
Yeah, I mean,
sitting on the
I
gate,
get
I'd be like,
nervous.
"This is not cool." But as soon as we got off, I was like, "All right, we're good."
Once
we're
we
good
get
now.
going, I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm
fine.
having a great
Yeah,
time.
adrenaline takes over.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
dead focused on
Sweet.
what you're
Yeah,
doing.
Yeah,
but
sweet.
up to the start, I'm like,
I
golly.
got to run a car one day. I got to.
Dude,
know
I-
this is
I-
like,
You got a
man.
4-cylinder.
I would
Oh,
love,
four-cylinder.
I would
No, you
love
won't
to
be.
race a pure stock race.
Yeah, you should.
That would be sick.
Talk
Well,
to Gene about it.
We got
no,
one.
because I know if I race anything that Gene owns, if I wreck it, I'm never gonna hear the end of it.
Well, of course not.
Because like I think he was still in the, he still was in the pure stock when he went practice one day, and he was like, "Get in it," and I was like, "No, sir." I was
You
like,
didn't
"Dude,
get in it.
No,
He told you to, and you didn't.
No, because I was
Come
like,
on.
dude, if I would have wrecked that,
Who
no,
cares?
bro,
Both you guys
Who
get
cares?
I know
Who
you cares.
cares? Eugene
You were out
cares.
there and helping fix it.
Eugene cares. No,
Oh,
not
come
me.
on.
Dude,
No.
you'd have
I'd
to
like
put
to
the
see
time
that.
in on it. That's how you'd get out from under it. You'd have to fix it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
that's
happening.
true. Not happening.
Not happening. Okay, I don't see me in it.
That's-
I'm not a good. I'm not good on 4 wheels. You give me 4 wheels, I go nuts. Anything with 2
What do you
wheels.
mean you go nuts?
Anything. I don't know how to handle it.
What do you mean?
I don't get it. I guess we're like 2 wheels. Like I'm on top of it. It's a bit smaller than me. I can handle it, dude. You put me in a car.
Toby's in
and
a
I-
car like leaning.
and I'm just like,
It's like, why is it not
For
turning,
for
man?
personal vehicles, you're on what? 13 now?
My personal vehicles.
Yeah.
I'm on
Is this
8.
Rex?
This is 8. The 8 that I've drove. 13 that I've wrecked.
You wrecked 13 cars?
I was only behind the wheel of 10 of them.
Only by
Yeah.
What's your insurance?
What does that
like?
even
My
mean?
insurance-
He's got bad motor.
I actually got really good
He's got-
insurance
he's
because
got
I drive a
bad- bad
'96 S10, so I don't pay. It's got race car
I thought
headlights
you were-
on it too.
I thought your insurance would be like.
It's not
You
that.
wrecked
Well, no.
13 cars.
13 cars.
How are you not behind the wheel of 2 of them or 3
I
of them?
let
you
2
said?
people wreck them one
You
time.
let them.
Yeah, one of them transmission just kind of flew out of. I blew Eugene's Nissan up, but I technically told him that was not my fault. But he said it's because I was wringing the guts out of it. But I don't believe him. But I'm pretty
believe
sure.
him.
You were,
I'm
you
pretty
were
sure
wringing the guts
I
out of
was.
it.
Yeah, I was coming down the.
Yeah,
down
yeah.
the
The
like,
point
center rod.
behind my comment is not race cars.
Not race cars.
Well, maybe he
Derbies.
just needs to be in a controlled environment.
Derbies.
He just needs to be. It sounds like he blew up some of them, so that doesn't even
Yeah,
count as a
they
wreck.
don't count.
I mean, you can blow up a race car. It's fine. It happens. Stuff
Happens.
sometimes.
Happens. I love to be Eugene. He come in and be like, "I just blew your race car up." He's like, "What?" And I go, "It happens. It happens.
It's fine.
It's fine. It happens. Where's
Oh,
it?
man.
You're good."
All right. I think that kind of covers the weekend, right? In
I think
general,
so,
There
yeah.
was a lot this week.
For all the small track,
Yeah,
everything.
for both of
Yeah.
that. What?
I'm excited about this.
Oh, you excited about
Yeah.
this? All right, we'll get to that. Don't
I'm
be
excited
jumping
about
on
that.
me.
I'm excited
Come
about
on, man.
that.
Don't be looking
I
at my
couldn't-
notes.
Oh, you got
Are you gonna pick this week? Is that what you want? I'm gonna add you in here, Toby.
pick this week. So this doesn't count for.
You're gonna have guests. You have
The way
guests-
this doesn't.
guests-
Obviously, this doesn't count for today's race. Obviously.
No,
Okay.
of course not.
Wait,
We
where we
got
going? Where we
one.
going next week?
Kansas. You can think about
Oh,
it.
freaking!
I already got a pick.
All right, okay. Before we get there, hold on. We're gonna quickly talk about Formula One. Formula One's finally back. They took their month-long wine drinking and cheese drinking break, I guess. I don't
Milk-
know.
cheese drinking?
Literally, I'm not
Milk
joking.
chugging, milk chugging,
I'm not
cheese
joking.
eating.
It was a month. They were off. So they go to Baku this weekend.
Baku.
Is that right? Yeah. Okay.
Azerbaijan.
Yeah, Azerbaijan. You said that 3 times fast.
I've never seen an F1 race.
You've never seen an F1
Ever.
ever?
I couldn't
You should
name
watch
you.
it.
I couldn't name you one F1 driver.
Not a single one.
No.
Never.
You,
Well,
never,
if
you
had
don't know
you-
who Lewis Hamilton is?
Had
Nope.
you watched
Max Verstappen.
today,
Nope.
Nope.
No.
had you watched today's race, you'd have been like, oh, I don't know that I like.
I like circles. It's easy
Yes.
to keep up with.
It is easy to keep
Easy
up.
to
I'm
keep up
a
with.
day behind in my brain because NASCAR came on today.
Yeah. that's
Yeah.
fair.
But
Yeah.
had you watched Azerbaijan, you'd been like,
You would still not be a
Yeah.
Formula One fan because it was a terrible race.
it was
Oh,
not a
really?
good race.
It was awful.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was. You talk about parade laps. Like the whole thing was just parade laps.
There's no racing.
But
the
yeah,
whole time.
just nothing. And Red Bull. That's why I said we'll quickly talk about this because there was nothing really to talk about that much.
Except for everybody hitting the wall.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a street circuit. This circuit is known for like kind of high speed crashes.
Yeah.
Usually getting some safety cars in there. Somehow it didn't even give us that this time. So like I don't know what was going on. I think everyone just knows they can't catch Red Bull, and so everybody's just like they
Not
just
even trying.
they're just not even trying. They're just like, well, we're gonna settle for like we know where we're kind of
Yeah.
supposed to finish, so that's where we're gonna finish. Like it's that sucks. But Ferrari picked up some speed, so they finished second in the actual race. The biggest topic probably out of this weekend is this George Russell Max Verstappen thing that I was telling you about in the sprint race. So and they also had a new format for the race weekend, which was super weird. So last year they decided that they were going to have these sprint races, right? And what they would do is you would have one practice, you'd have a qualifying session, and then that would set your lineup for the sprint race.
Yeah.
And then you would sprint race, and then wherever you finished in that was where you started the actual race. So like the
much
sprint
racing.
race is only like a third of the distance of like a full race.
Yeah.
It's like 17 laps,
Yeah.
15, 16 laps. So it made sense because you were trying to shake up the lineup for the actual race, right? So you had this qualifying session, then you had this, you had the sprint race, and that kind of was supposed to have a shook up kind of feel for the main race.
Yeah.
This weekend they qualified once for the sprint race, and then they qualified again for the main race. And they run the sprint race and they awarded points, but then you didn't matter where you finished
so what
in
was
that.
the point of
so
that?
what's the
Yeah,
point?
yeah, I was
There's
saying, what's the
literally
point
no
of that?
point in doing this sprint race
That was
format.
just to see if like the fastest guy was going to wreck, so we get a new winner.
That's
That's what it
literally
sounded
it.
like.
That's pretty
Yeah.
much what you got. That was
Pair of
so it
race
was like
cars
it's
for no
so
reason.
stupid.
Yeah, like,
Which
okay,
is what
let's-
they ended up doing.
yeah.
They put a hole like this big in the side of the Red Bull's side pod. It's like probably like the second most important aerodynamic piece on the car. And no telling what it costs. Probably $30,000-$40,000 part
Yeah,
that
it's
they
probably-
just put a
it's probably more
giant
than
hole
that.
in. It probably is if they depending on how they ended up having how they were able to
That's
fix
a
it.
$20 million car.
Yeah, I know, but I'm
That's
saying like, I
gotta
don't know
be-
if they had to
that's gotta
replace
be
the
a
whole
piece-
thing, it was probably a
chunk of
lot
money.
more. If they were able to kind of repair it, potentially it wasn't as bad. So I don't know. I just hope that something happens. They're coming to the U.S. next week. They're in Miami next weekend. So let's see. It's another street course.
Another street course.
Perez might win. Perez is only 6 points behind in the World Championship right now. So that Red Bull's tight. I don't think anyone's got anything for him, but let's see. Then, like you guys said earlier, the Dover race, it got canceled yesterday. It run today. You got to watch most of it, and I didn't. I honestly didn't even get to watch all that much of it
I
because
watched
everything
most
was
of it.
going on.
I watched
So, like,
all of it.
tell me what was going on. I know kind
It's
of the
just-
end result.
It was kind of a wreck fest too.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the beginning it really
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, they
Green
wrecked.
track.
Yeah, I say they wrecked like off the green like
Mhm.
3 times in
Yeah.
a row.
Yeah. Well, Dover's a hard track. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a mile-long
Yeah.
concrete track. It's bad fast. It's a lot of banking in the corners, and and it was green. It rained on it all weekend, so it didn't have any rubber on it.
No.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Did you like Dover? You
It's
never watched a
fine.
Dover
It's
race
fine.
before?
I
did you?
haven't. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I like
It's good.
Dover. I
They
like
were
how the
still-
back wall randomly comes out. Like, if
Yeah,
it's coming out, all of a
yeah.
sudden, like, if you hit it, dude, you've
You're
totaled the
cooked
car.
it.
You've
cooked
totaled the
because
car.
you're flying because
Yeah.
you've got so much bacon in the corners.
It's nuts.
You're absolutely hauling the mail through the corner. And these cars are crazy because they've got so much corner speed anyway.
Yeah.
These new cars, like they used to have to get out of the gas and hit the brakes, to make the corner. Probably didn't have to fully hit the brakes here, but they were slowing down a lot. Now they're not. I mean, you're
hooking them. You're just hooking
it,
them.
man. It's fast. So we saw that with Daniel Suarez. He got up in the wall and
Yeah.
he tore it up. I think he seemed really mad again, which he screwed up on his own this time.
Are you
so
bummed out?
He's a big fan of the 99.
You like
Yeah,
Daniel
he likes
Suarez?
He's-
Daniel
he's his
Suarez.
favorite.
I like the
Don't care
cool
much.
purple
Don't care
Tootsie
much.
wrap he's got on that one. That's
Yeah, that's
cool.
true.
I really
Yeah,
like
You
that
like
one.
Pitbull? Are you happy he's his
No,
owner? You don't like Pitbull?
no, I'm not a Pitbull fan. Not a Pitbull fan. No.
Huh.
But
Maybe
I
Pitbull
did last
fan.
week when I saw they were like Pitbull sponsors car. I was like, what?
So, yeah,
But
he's
then
the
he's a
owner.
co-owner.
He's
He's
a
a co-owner
co-owner,
of
and
it.
his next album is going to be named Trackhouse.
Yeah, I saw that where
Did
it's on
you
the
see
front of the
that?
car. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on the
That's
front of the
wild.
car and everything.
Yeah, he's on the side of the car this week, which I
That's
don't know.
wild.
It's super weird. If you had told me like 4 years ago, like, oh, by the
Oh,
way, in
yeah.
2023, Michael Jordan and Pitbull are going to own Cup teams.
That
I'd
would
been like,
not.
I'd have been like,
no.
No,
what?
it-
I'd be
What are
like,
you
what?
smoking, man?
I'd be
Like,
like, no
there's
way.
nothing
I'd be
to
like,
that
no way.
at all.
I'd be
Yeah,
like, why
it's-
would either one of those care about NASCAR?
Yeah, exactly. And I think if it wasn't for Denny, your boy,
My boy.
Michael would never have come into the sport.
No,
Like, I think they're just like, they're pretty tight. seems like.
they got to be pretty tight.
Yeah, it
So
must be. And like, they said that Jordan is super into it though. He said he like asked about like he tries to get like pit crew information on like the speeds and who does this job the fastest, and he's like analyzing it to try and help them be faster.
he
And I was
was
like, that's pretty crazy.
One of the races this year, he was there on top of the
That
with
was
the crew
last
chief.
weekend.
Was it last
Yeah, it
weekend?
was at
I
Talladega.
thought so.
Yeah,
Because
it
they
was
were like
Talladega,
Michael
'cause
Jordan,
Bubba almost won.
and I was like, Michael Jordan's here. Then I was like, oh, Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, he was on
Yeah.
Bubba's pit box, and they just about won that thing.
Yeah.
He took a
What a
hard.
party
He
that
took a
would've
hard
been.
block on Ryan Blaney, and that
Yeah,
kind of messed
2
him
or
up. That
3
messed
big
him up.
blocks.
That messed him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But imagine the party that would have been. Imagine partying with Michael Jordan at Talladega.
Dude.
To win.
Dude,
I'd
that
be
would
there.
have been insane.
That would have been fun.
That would have been insane.
That would have been fun. All right. So anything else that came out? Martin wins. Finally gets a win. Broke a 54 race
Yeah.
winless
Yeah.
streak. So good for him. Now that we're in NASCAR, I have to try and convince Toby that Joe Gibbs sucks, and he
Joe
should
Gibbs
not
is-
root for Joe Gibbs.
Joe Gibbs is the most consistent team in NASCAR.
I
I would give it to
can't back
I
that
would give
stat
it to
up.
Hendrick, but Hendrick's getting penalized because they're. I'm not gonna say they're cheating, but we're
They're
doing
kind of
unapproved body
cheating 'cause they're
modification. That's cheating. That's cheating.
The 24 is so fast. He was so fast today.
He was
At the
from the
beginning of
beginning
the
of the year.
race,
He's been so fast.
That's what I'm saying. Every race he shows up, he's the top 3 car at least, and
Mhm.
usually leads a bunch of laps. And he was that again today.
He's got the most stage wins, 6. He was tied with somebody
Yeah.
they said earlier, but I don't know who they said.
Trying to
I think
who
it may have been
that-
Kyle Larson or Chris.
Probably Larson.
It's not Ross
or-
Chastain because he's 4th.
Okay.
He had 4. 'cause
That
I
would
think
make
it's him.
sense because it's been like the Larson Byron show. Like if one's
Yeah,
not fast,
yeah,
the other one is.
yeah.
And I think Josh got another top 10 in the 48 car because Bowman.
Yeah,
did
he
you
was
hear
10th.
about
Yeah, he
that?
was 10th.
Yeah.
Yeah, did
Oh
you hear
yeah.
Bowman?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Has a cracked vertebrae from a sprint car crash.
Did you see the sprint car
Yeah,
crash?
it was pretty
It was
intense, but, like,
wild.
but it wasn't the worst one I've ever seen
No.
though. Like those cars are violent. So he had a cracked vertebrae, and he's out for like the next 3 to 4 weeks, which I just feel like is not enough time.
I bet it
him.
just slung him
feel-
around really good.
No,
I bet
I'd
that's
say
really what
like-
got him.
I'd
But
say
he
like
was like
compressed him.
barreling.
Yeah, I'd say at some point he landed and it just compressed
Yeah.
him and
Yeah.
busted it. But yeah, so that was pretty good. I want to see him win a race so bad in one of these relief
Bowman?
positions. No,
Oh, Josh Berry.
Oh,
that'd be
Bowman.
crazy.
It sucks.
very
And what
good.
really sucks is his best track is the one that Chase comes back in, and then like 2 weeks later,
I know,
Bowman gets
why?
hurt. I was
Yeah,
like, dang it.
yeah.
I
It's
was
a
like,
weird
if he
thing
could
that they
have
chose
finished
Martinsville. Yeah,
Was
it's
that-
so odd that they chose Martinsville to have him back.
For Chase, yeah, I thought that was weird.
And with Josh
And-
Berry being a Martinsville
Yeah, kind of a
guru.
ringer.
At least like
yeah.
give him another week and be like, come on, let him run it and something like that.
Martinsville,
And he
like-
was, and he was doing good in the 9 car too. He was
yeah.
doing
Oh,
good.
he was doing really good. He had a
Second place
top
finish?
2.
Yeah.
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 It was really good.
I like him because he's a late model wheelman.
He's like if like the guys that we raced with on the weekends
just like-
got big.
Yeah.
Heck,
That's-
he-
that's
He'll be
how
in
I
a good.
think
He'll be in a
about
good
it.
car next year. He'll be on the team next year, I
I-
think.
Where though? Where's he gonna go?
Chip
He can't be in
Ganassi.
Hendrick.
Oh, you
think so? You're gonna
What'd
take-
you
you're
Ganassi's
you'll
gone, I think.
Ganassi, Trackhouse boots Jackson's favorite driver and puts Barry in. But I don't know. Does it make sense? So, would you guys, if watching the Xfinity races, how everything goes, does it make sense to get out of a really good Xfinity car to get in a subpar Cup car?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Why?
You're in a cup car.
But why? But okay. So but then you run
Because
25th or 30th every week. No one cares.
That's very true. That's also what I was going to say. Because like if you had if you were able to take a so and so cup car, like at least like a half a season or something like that, and you got like 2 or 3 top 10s even in that, that's going to set you
That's
up
true,
pretty
but
good.
it's so hard to
it
do
is
in these
so
cars.
hard. It is really
in these
hard.
cars,
Yeah.
it's crazy hard to do. Like
'Cause-
I don't know if it's even possible to take like a subpar car and. I mean, you might get 1 or 2 positions more than you should,
Talent-
but like
you
to
want your
get 10
big
positions
super
better.
speedway.
Yeah, like big break or something like that. You slip on through there, then you're like, hey, I'm on that board.
Yeah,
you're like,
that's
slip
true.
through.
Daytona,
That's
be
true.
your only
Slip
That's
through.
fair. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think until a good like a Hendrick car up's open, I think it makes sense for him to just stay in Xfinity and win races and potentially win some championships.
Relief driver for keep on Hendrick.
Yeah,
relief
I mean, if
driver
they need
and-
any relief or like whoever, and like I said, I don't know who. What sucks is that everybody on that team's so young.
Yeah, that's
You
what I
got
thought too.
Byron's
Because
young,
like,
Bowman's
yeah.
pretty
you wait for
young.
something to open up, and like all those
Bowman
boys,
just
there's
signed a
stuff there.
4-year
Yeah.
extension.
Yeah.
Chase isn't going anywhere. I mean, Hendricks is home. He's not going nowhere.
he
And
won't
that, I
go
mean,
nowhere. He
no
won't
way.
go nowhere.
And Byron's had such a killer season. He's probably the favorite for the championship at this point. He's not going anywhere.
Right.
So and like that guy's like Jeff Gordon's little protege.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like So I don't think that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think he's going anywhere.
No, they like him in that car.
Yeah,
I believe.
exactly. So I don't know where Barry goes if he gets in a Cup car, but I would just like I said, if it were me, I know I'm an expert in this topic, but like I would make sure it was a good ride because you don't want to end up like Gregson in the 42
know.
car and not
Oh,
having a
yeah.
hot season.
Yeah.
And he was, I mean, he had
He
the
was
potential to
killing
win
them.
every
Yeah,
race that
last
he
year
showed up
was
to at
smoking
Xfinity
them.
race.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting to Toby's favorite part now. He said he was ready for this.
I'm
We have
ready for this.
picks. Win, you won this week. You
What
were
am I up to? 3?
Jackson has 4, you have 3, I have 2. I am trailing behind. Reddick finished 7th. Jackson had Elliott. He finished 11th, and Harvick finished 19th, which is my pick. Apparently a bad pick. I was hoping he would do good. So, we're going to Kansas this week. Wynn already said, oh no.
Oh no.
Boring.
Yeah, that's
Boring.
it is.
Man.
Oh, I get to pick first this week.
You
Toby,
get
you get to pick first
I
this
get to
week.
pick
You're the
first?
guest. You get to pick first.
I don't like him, but just like, I'm gonna go Joe Logano.
God,
He's
That's
consistent.
that's what I was
That's
going
a
to say,
good
man.
pick.
I don't
What
like
do
him,
you mean
but
you
like
don't like him?
the motor.
Why do you? How can you like Denny Hamlin?
Bro,
and not
that's
like
true.
Joe
because I
Logano?
like Matt Kenseth, and when he dumped Matt Kenseth
Oh,
that
no.
year, that was no.
All
He's
right.
just
Man,
Sorry, guys, we're gonna
that's
have
what I was
to,
gonna
we're gonna
pick.
delete
No.
this because I didn't know all this. So now you're not allowed to be on any more
Yeah.
podcasts.
See y'all.
You should ask Mom and Emily the next time
They
you're
like
with
Joe
them.
Logano?
No, wait. I do. I was at that point. I was a big Logano fan. I'm still a big Logano fan, but like I cared a little more than I probably do now.
Yeah.
I was very passionate about this at a point.
Yeah.
So like next time you see Emily, just ask her about the time that Matt wrecked Joey at Martinsville and how I reacted.
Yeah.
I showed. It was not good. I was an idiot. I was like throwing shoes. I'm like pitching them down. I was
Yeah.
so mad. I was like, you gotta be. And Mom and Emily are both just like,
Whoa.
just like sitting there
Whoa.
looking at me, and I gotta get finished, and they're like, "You good? You okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just so mad.
Yeah,
I was
just-
so mad. He should have won the championship that year, and because he got wrecked at Martinsville, he didn't
I
even
was
make it
so
to the
excited.
Final Four. Or
I
whatever.
was so excited when that happened. But I saw
Were you a Matt
Matt.
Kenseth fan at that point? Like before that?
I like him, bro, because he's Same thing. He's been consistent. He's been pushed over by everybody.
Yeah,
but it's like
Pat-
he's just quiet, but
Yeah,
he's
he
always
is.
been there.
He's fast.
And when
And
we
he
got
was,
older, he fell off obviously, but like with
little,
like
but
the
not
17,
still- I mean,
like
he
the
still was
17
winning.
one. Yeah, I mean,
he was
yeah.
still winning there at the end. Like he won like the.
He won a bunch about 2 or 3 years before.
Yeah.
He won
Well, even like that
7 or 8
year,
races.
the year he was getting kicked out of his ride, he
Yeah,
won
that's
a
what
couple
I'm
races.
He won
So,
more
I
than a
mean,
couple.
That year?
There was 1 year there towards the end with the 17 or the 20.
The 20 was where he finished.
Yeah, he finished in the 20.
Because he was in
Did
the
he?
17
I thought
at
he was in the
Roush.
42
Yeah.
when he finished.
Mm-mm.
Didn't he come back?
He
He
42
got-
to the
well,
20.
he filled in after Larson's
Oh, did he?
debacle.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, after that
happened?
deal. What happened? It was a sim racing accident. Not good.
Sim racing
It
accident.
was a sim racing
It was.
accident.
I never saw the video until
That was bad.
like honestly until like 2 months ago, and I
Yeah.
was like, because I remember like hearing about it, but I didn't know it was on video. Then I heard it, and
Yeah.
as soon as it aired, I was like,
Ooh, yeah, it's not good.
It was
Boy.
the real deal.
He doesn't want to talk
He was
about
like
that.
the dictionary.
yeah,
it was-
As soon as they said it, he was like, don't say nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he went,
they
"Don't
said
say-"
they
yeah.
were like,
Kyle,
Kyle,
everyone-
Kyle,
we can
on-
hear,
you're
we
on
can
the
hear,
live chat,
we can
man.
hear, and he went,
Oh
yeah, don't
my
say nothing. He said, don't say anything about it.
God.
Then everything, I went, oh.
Oh, not good. So, yeah, he did come back and fill in at 42 during that time.
I do remember
Yeah, that was bad.
that. That was tough.
But then he came back and won a championship.
You like Kyle Larson?
Yeah, Carl Larson's amazing.
I like him.
I wish these guys had more personality. And we talked about this last week. I don't know if you listened, but like I miss the heroes of the sport. I miss the
me
Dale
too.
Earnhardts, the Rusty Wallaces, like the guys that you either loved or you hated.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, there's a whole lot of gray
Yeah.
area.
Yeah,
you
like-
like name a driver,
They're
like
all right. They're all right.
Alex
They're all
Bowman.
right. They're all right.
Oh,
Stuff like that,
yeah.
yeah.
It's fine.
It's
You know,
fine.
like if you say these names about these drivers,
He's
there's
like a
no one
rock.
that you're like, that's my guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even when you say like I love Denny Hamlin, I might like give you crap, but I'm like, nah, Denny Hamlin's okay. Like,
He's
he
alright.
doesn't
Yeah,
bother
he's
me.
alright.
Like it
He's
really
alright.
doesn't. Like,
He's
the
alright.
older he gets, the more I like him. But I do miss that. I miss like
Yeah.
heroes in the days where
Oh,
you
yeah.
were like,
Were you like that? That's him.
you drove a Chevrolet because Dale Earnhardt drove a Chevrolet.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that whole win on Sunday, sell on Monday thing was legit.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens anymore,
Yeah,
really.
I don't think. Yeah.
And that sucks.
It would be cool though.
It would be cool.
It would be sweet.
Maybe we can get back to it one day. I don't know. What do you think it takes to get back to that? Like to
Time
that,
travel?
Time travel. Yeah.
Time travel.
I don't see it. I don't
Come
see
on,
it.
guys.
I don't-
Give me a little something.
Dude, I have no clue.
I don't
think about
like-
it all the time.
Yeah, like
I don't know. You have to take the money out of it, right? There's so much money in racing now; it's
Yeah, I
impossible.
think you'd have to take some.
Because you can't say anything out of the way. You can't say the wrong.
Yeah.
If you say the wrong anything, you literally can get kicked out of your ride.
yeah, literally.
yeah.
So I mean, like that's.
You got to be careful.
So
You
you
got
gotta watch every word you say. And Denny gets fined 25 points, $50,000 for saying he wrecked Ross on purpose.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
or a few weeks ago now.
I'm
It's
glad he
like,
did.
I am too. I have no problem with that.
Glad he did.
But I don't have a problem with Ross wrecking him either.
I got a
though.
problem with Ross.
Why? You don't like Ross?
No.
What do you mean?
Same
you don't
thing
like
today
Ross?
when he dumped.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Brandon Poole. He
Yeah,
got
and
the
then
back
in
of
the
it.
in the Larson.
That was an accident.
That's what he said, but then he's been doing it.
That's like when Denny run into the back. Of
Everybody
JJ.
thinks
He
he's
run
so
into
cool
the
for
back
the
of
Martinsville
15.
thing.
Yeah, well, I liked him before.
I mean,
that,
it was
to be fair.
the Martinsville thing was insane.
But
it was nuts.
okay.
But
We talk about heroes, right? We talk about someone that like does things to be like heroes.
that should have been a one-time
That's
hero.
Ross.
No, that should have been a one-time
and
hero.
Ross is the only guy that races like that out there right now. He's the only guy that goes out there every week and says, "I don't care
Kyle Busch.
where I finish as long as I finish ahead of you or you or you."
He's got those people he takes
Kyle,
out.
I mean, Kyle, yes.
Kyle, he
but,
slowed
like,
down a little bit more,
Kyle
obviously.
Kyle's still fast. Don't get me wrong, but Kyle's attitude has changed a lot.
Yeah,
That whole
yeah.
after that Joe Gibbs thing, and you kind of not getting the sponsor renewed and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He's kind of. I think he's saying, okay, I'm going to come down a couple notches. I'm going to come back, and really win a bunch,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I'll
Focus
start
on this
back
racing
it.
thing, like really
But like
just get
Ross
back
is
into
the
it.
only guy that does not care. Only car he cares about is that one he's sitting in.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if a teammate
And
or not.
everybody talks trash, and he said the other day they talked to him, and they were like, so and so said that somebody needed to fight you, and he was like, I don't say that to my face. It's just like Stone Cold, man. Like,
just
did not
like-
care. He's like, they say that, but they don't come say it to me, so why would I care? So I'm like, if you look for heroes, like Ross is that guy right now who said you either love him or you hate him.
Yeah.
That's not a bad
I
thing.
get that.
I don't care what side you're on. That's not a bad thing.
No.
So,
That means if you're
we
quit.
were doing picks and we got all
Yeah, we did. I got one. I got Joe Logano.
Toby got Logano.
Joe Logano.
That's a really good pick.
I hope he beats y'all,
Wasn't
but
it
doesn't
Kansas?
win the race.
It was Kansas that that he wrecked Matt at.
Yep.
That's what caused the whole whole
Yeah,
debacle anyway. It was Kansas.
That 22 with the white and blue and the red
Yeah.
paint scheme.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought he was in the Pennzoil car that
I
weekend.
don't think it was.
No, Matt was in the
Matt
the
was in
D-Walk
the
20.
Dollar General car. Right?
Oh, the Dollar
Yeah.
General 20 is
Yeah.
what it
Yellow
was. Yeah,
Dollar
yeah, yeah.
General.
When he wrecked him in Martinsville, he was in the yellow.
Okay, I thought
Yeah,
I thought Joey
yeah.
was in the yellow
Yeah.
for that Kansas race. Anyway,
No, I don't think it was.
Hey, you're right. You're fair. All right, I have my pick.
There you go.
Kansas, man. I want to pick Martin, but I don't think he goes back to back. I don't think he's got the mental
He's going to.
stability to.
But after
go back
snapping
to
a
back.
54 loss streak, maybe
Yeah,
he's just
there's
like on
a
fire.
good
Just on
chance.
fire. And not that Dover and Kansas same, but it's like same kind of lengthy track. Like
Yeah.
just kind of feel.
Well,
but you're
Martin's
not.
been good there in the past.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Byron.
Dang it, dude.
Well, who's your next
Byron.
pick, Wynn?
I'm not
Jackson,
saying-
you're up, man.
Who's your next pick?
He's going to say it, I'm sure, man.
Who's your next pick? What's it start with? So that way I can
I'm
have
not
it.
saying that.
Well, I want to steal it. You got
You would do
stolen
it
twice.
immediately.
I want
I
my
said
third time
letter.
charm.
Were
Take
you gonna
your
pick
third pick.
Logano?
Yeah, I was going to pick Logano, then I was
And
going
then
to
you're
pick
gonna pick
Byron.
Byron? Oh no!
Let's
That's
hear it,
his
dude.
third pick.
Yeah, read my mind.
I wish I could.
You would pick
I don't know
it.
about
If
that.
you could read your mind, you would pick it.
Oh,
Who'd you pick?
I think I'll go Hamlin.
No way. There's no way. That's what I was saying. I was like, if I say the first letter, D, like,
Yeah,
he's
you gotta know. Yeah.
Now I got to think about this.
That was awesome. 3 picks
Y'all chat
in a
for a
row.
minute while
I was gonna go. I was about to go. Logano, Reddick, and
Ready?
then
Well,
Blaney.
The
and then Blaney.
45 won this race last year, and the 23 won this race. The other Kansas
Oh, yeah.
race. So I mean,
Yeah.
the 2311 cars are really fast at Kansas.
I mean, Kyle Busch
And
is decent
Bubba,
at.
Bubba like won that race. That
I hate to
last
pick
race,
all these
so.
big hitters every freaking time.
Yeah, we need.
No.
We gotta tweak this a little. We gotta.
I
Start
know, 'cause we pick, like,
because
the-
we pick who's gonna win, like who has a shot.
I know.
To win every
Yeah.
week.
I want to say
don't.
Kyle
I just
Busch.
try to pick who's going to win
You
out of the
look
pit.
back at previous races and see who.
Yeah, but I
know
never
what
pick
you
who
do.
won.
Dude, the only
Not
two
last
races
year who
this year
won.
that I
I
have
go
not
back
saw
3.
was Auto Club in Talladega, and Kyle Busch won both of them.
Yeah,
And I
you
was
did.
like, I'm gonna quit watching races. And then like I saw like where the point standing, he was sitting on a pole and everything. I was like, what's a Monday? I'm not even gonna watch it at work. Then you were like, come on the podcast. I was like, we're gonna talk about it, so I gotta watch it. And then he led those laps, and I was like, dude, he's quick.
Yeah, but
and then
then
as
he
soon
got
as
into
that,
Suarez
as soon as he drilled that, and then I saw him come in the pits, and he got that speed on
Speed
pit road,
penalty.
and I was like,
Dude,
dog.
Kyle
I was like, I should have
cannot-
never turned this
He
on.
cannot catch a break on this.
He's got the
penalty.
most this season.
What
So
the
far. He's
heck?
got
I know.
4.
Yeah,
It's
4.
nuts.
4 and
Hey, you know
what,
why?
6 races?
You know why he's fast?
You're so
I'm
Still
focused.
think,
You were
like,
just
I want to
like,
say Kyle Busch, but at the same time, like I want to pick someone that's. I don't know. Next week I'll choose another woman. I'll go with Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch.
Second time I've done it so far.
I'm gonna start going through and marking some off so we can kind of start using.
Okay,
we can get
and
some
just-
new names in there.
I think we see only 2 or 3 more weeks, and Ryan Blaney is going to be in.
Man,
See,
I
I
love
chose
Blaney.
Blaney.
I
Blaney's
love him.
bad.
I do. I love
Blaney's
Ryan
my
Blaney.
favorite guy, and he's still not won a race
No.
in this next gen car.
No.
Sorry, he won the All-Star race. He has not won a points race.
Oh, he did win
in
the
this
All-Star.
next
Oh, yeah,
gen
the
car.
trucks won the Busch, the Clash that cost him, and that didn't
Yeah,
count.
okay, not a
I
points
picked him
race.
for one race.
You did. I
And I
think I
lost.
picked him for
Did
a
you?
race too.
Oh yeah.
I picked
Jackson
him. I
him last
went and
week.
saw Bristol on dirt, and I
Oh
picked.
yeah,
I picked.
how was that? Because we were pretty critical of it.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It was the first Cup race I've ever seen.
Oh, you've never been to a Cup race?
I
Oh,
saw.
really?
I saw when they were the Busch cars,
Mhm.
and like a long time ago, and I
Yeah.
barely remember even like what happened. And I never been to a Cup race, and then it was cool. I mean, because it was different. Like obviously, the more
Yeah.
thing once they really like restarts were crazy. Because I mean, as soon as you went off restart in Bristol, you were like all of a sudden you look down, and you were 4 wide in the first turn, and then just
yeah.
sliding. I mean, you could tell the people who was the dirt car racers, that are people who were just like, let me get through this race. Like, let me get
Just-
out
I
of
just
this
wanna go
race.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you had like
That's
by the
exactly
time
what it felt
you got like 3/4 of the way, you had like Christopher Bell, your dirt drivers who's just
Which is unusual.
stayed
there.
up
Usually
there.
it's somebody like the
Yeah,
non-dirt driver.
yeah. About 3/4 of like 3 or 4 of the top 5 guys that like had the dirt car experience, and you could tell. Yeah, you could tell.
Yeah, that's fair. We should all go to a race.
I got tickets to go see Bristol again in the night race. It's
Do you?
September. I do. I bought the package deal, so I got it.
Where's it at? What seat you got? I know
I was
where
like
it's
Bristol. I
at.
was like,
Where are you sitting at? We
if
should get
it's
tickets.
if it's the same, it was like right there at I don't know the name of the seats, but Bottom.
turn 1,
coming out of turn 2.
There you go.
Coming out of turn 2, yeah.
Give me
back
a
road.
location.
Yeah, well, I didn't think about that. I was
Yeah,
like,
I was
so
like,
circle.
so
I was
you gotta
like,
give me something, man.
coming out of turn 2. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Okay. All right, that's cool. We should definitely do that. Me and Dad and Tyler are going to the All-Star race at North Wilkes-Barre.
Oh, are you?
That's
See, I looked at tickets for those, and I was like,
I got tickets. They sold out like
yeah,
in a
dude.
couple hours.
Yeah.
I was there. Like literally, I was sitting on the computer.
It was like watching time.
Refresh.
As soon as you click, boom.
Boom, click. And
That would be
I didn't
sick.
think I got it.
That would be
initially.
sweet. That would be
I'm
sweet.
Golly.
We didn't talk about that.
I looked at tickets for Formula One.
Are they expensive?
In August.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
They didn't used to be.
'Cause I was
that
just gonna-
bad.
Where, in Texas?
If
Is that the one you were going to go to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My plan
That's
was
the
if they were
worst
like
one.
$200, I was just gonna get a couple and then be like, hey Jay, guess what? But then I looked at them and like the race day, it's like $485 per. I was like,
Then
no.
your plane tickets.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
in plane
nuts.
tickets, hotel. Oh.
That
All
was-
right,
you'd
we
be
haven't
spending
talked
well
I
about
watched it on
this.
TV.
They announced this the other day, the All-Star race format. Did you
Oh,
guys hear
I have
about
not.
this?
No.
You haven't heard about it at all?
No.
I was gonna pull it up here. I'm super happy with it. It makes me really happy that I'm going. So we've got the initial rate. The races are set based off a pit crew challenge. So you go,
Oh.
they line up,
Sweet.
and you
That's
do
cool.
a pit
That's
stop.
cool.
You do a pit stop, and that's where you start your heat race.
That's
So we've
cool.
got
That's really
60
cool.
lap heat races, and that sets the results of heat race 1 set the All-Star race inside row, and heat race 2 set the All-Star race outside row. So there's going to be 60 laps, 2 60-lap races for the heats. That sets the starting lineup for the actual race.
Yeah.
Okay. So the pit crew sets where you start in the heat races. Heat race sets where you are in the race itself. Then we have the All-Star Open, which is 100 laps. There's a one competitive break at around lap 40, and the top 2 finishers transfer to the All-Star race, and then there's a fan vote into the All-Star race.
Yeah.
So, okay. And then at that point, you have the All-Star race field, which is 2022 and 2023 point race winners. You have past All-Star race winners and NASCAR Cup Series champions, All-Star Open, top 2 finishers, and the fan vote. That's who's eligible for the field. And then the race is going to be 200 laps. You only get 3 sets of tires
Oh.
for the whole 200, and there's a competition break at lap 100. And after the break, you can only use one set of sticker tires after that 100 lap break.
Wow.
So
That's wild.
it's going to be.
That is wild.
They said we've talked about this on here before. When the trucks were testing up there was like 3 seconds of tire fall off. So over the run, 3 seconds of fall off. That's how much slower they get. That's for the trucks. And then they said it was a lot of fall off for the Cup cars too. It's going to be a good race.
Major strategy.
Yeah, it's going to be strategy,
yeah.
but you're going to see Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin. You're going to see these old timers that used to have to actually race.
Yeah.
They're going to come to the front.
Yeah.
This ain't going to be the young guys at the front of this.
This could be like experience
That's
race
good.
kind of.
Yeah,
what
it's
it
gonna
is.
be cool.
Like boys, like racing.
I'm so excited.
That would be-
I'm so glad I get to go.
that would
Like, I
be
think
so
we're
cool.
like over in turn 1 and 2. I don't care. I don't even care where we sit.
Oh,
As
yeah,
long as I'm there.
yeah,
I
as
just
long as
wanted to feel. And that sounds so dumb.
Yeah, yeah, oh,
Like,
yeah,
I
I
just
get what
wanted to
you're saying.
be there and
Yeah.
be there at North Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah.
Because my whole life, the last race they run there was in '96. So I never got to see a race there.
Yeah.
And my whole life, people have talked about going racing in North Wilkes-Barre. We should go back. We should go back. We should go back. And I was like, told Dad, I said, if they go back,
We're going.
I don't care how much the tickets cost. We're going.
Yeah.
And we did. So I'm
That would
excited.
be sweet. That would be awesome.
Toby, you happy that you came on the podcast?
Yeah.
I think you did good.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. Are you happy Toby came on the podcast?
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
hold
just
on.
any
One
other
thing I want
time.
to ask. In Formula One, is a parade lap laps on caution? What's a parade lap?
That's just
There's your
Not- you're
ride.
not-
Oh,
you're just
did I say
Yeah,
parade
nobody.
laps?
You said parade laps, and I was
It's
like,
boring. They just run nose to
Yeah.
tail and they just run.
Got
Like,
it.
it's
oh,
like
so
a-
just like if you're just like following in a line the whole race.
just like
No
you're
yeah,
watching a
laps.
parade.
I would,
Cars
just like you're watching a parade. Yeah,
Oh.
there's no passing. It's just round and round
Yes,
and
yeah,
round.
I don't-
Yeah.
That's not
Azerbaijan
Not good.
this time not good.
Not good.
Parade lap's not an official.
They just
term.
look so scary to me. The F1 cars. I feel like if you get tangled up, like if you two get tangled up together, like you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They look brutal though. I mean, they're
Those
just,
Yeah.
the,
they're just
the
mean
halos
looking.
Yeah.
are ridiculously engineered.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they
rigid.
got it.
They
You
are
could
rigid.
drop a car on another car straight on.
Yeah,
and
I
it
mean,
wouldn't crash.
Max pretty much drove over the top of Lewis
Yeah,
a couple years
yeah.
ago, and it didn't deflect. It was just stayed right
Could you
there.
imagine just be like sitting in a car and
And
you
then
just
a tire hit
That's,
you.
that's
Yeah, I'd be
literally
like,
what
oh.
happened. The rear tire hit him in the helmet. It
That's
scuffed the top of his helmet,
crazy.
and they finished, and the car was just sitting on top of the other car like this. It's
That's
crazy.
nuts.
Yeah, it is.
I'd pee my pants. I would pee all over myself.
I thought you were saying you did just now.
No, I didn't. I would if a tire bounced off the top of my head in a Formula One car.
Who was it that drove through the wall and caught on fire?
Grosjean.
I saw
Romain.
that. That's nuts.
That was scary. That was really scary.
That was nuts.
I was watching that live, and that was super scary. So anyway, so you're happy you came on?
Yeah.
It's good. You gonna come on again sometime?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We gotta get me and Eugene in here.
Oh,
it'd be
when
3
you-
hours
oh,
long.
God.
3 hours long, that's what I'm
There would
saying.
there would be no reason. Yeah, we'd have to
Yeah,
record.
it'd be
We'd be like, I
you
need you
start
guys to
podcast
record.
for like an hour. You'd be like, I gotta go, and then
Yeah.
it'd just be
Like,
me
I
and
need
him
you-
sitting here, and then finally we'd be like, how do we work this?
Yeah.
He'd be like, turn his computer off, and I'd be like, I have power.
Why did your dad sound Italian when you do his
It
accent?
Sounds like an angry type. Hey man, come on man.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining. If you enjoyed Toby, let us know. We'll get him on more.
Come back.
He apparently doesn't have a lot to do. I don't think.
I get off 4:30 and then I'm hanging out.
Okay.
I got 9 months.
9 months.
9 months.
Oh yeah.
9
Yeah,
months.
that's right.
I got 9 months.
That's exciting.
Oh, about 8 now.
That's scary. Isn't it?
It was scary.
Yeah, it's
It was
scary.
it was woo.
You ain't seen nothing yet, buddy. Trust me.
Oh yeah, ramp.
And then he gets there and it kind of levels out and then it ramps again.
Yeah.
All
After
right.
that.
Thanks everyone that's been watching and joining. Like I said, let us know if you like Toby. We'll get him on some more. And follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Check out our YouTube channel and all that good stuff. That's what we do mainly is YouTube.
Did you tell Smokey's story? Or you want to do that? On the
No,
next
I'm gonna save it.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
gonna tell the Smokey story, but I'm gonna save it for next time because we're already like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah,
And
we're
Diana
along
is
there.
gonna be very annoyed that she has to listen this long. So
Think so?
Nah, she won't be.
She'll be
She's gonna
fine.
super-
She'll be
not
fine.
not your Diana, our friend Diana.
Yeah, she's in
We have a friend named Diana.
Texas, so she can listen to it while she's down there.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Oh yeah, she's fine.
Yeah, she's fine. So yeah, thanks for joining. See you guys later.